Hear me okay? Yeah. I'll not bother with that then, okay? Hello, my name's Stuart Waiton. I'm an academic speaking in a personal capacity. You might understand why. Do we have a two-tier justice system in Scotland? And in particular, do we have a two-tier justice system when dealing with rape trials? How to think about this? Let's start with the attempt to increase conviction rates in rape cases. This, it would appear, is something that politicians and the judiciary and the academics think is necessary and good. But is this normal? Since when was it normal to have a starting point of wanting to increase the conviction rate of any crime? Doesn't this automatically risk increasing the number of miscarriages of justice? Well, I asked my friendly AI, and they said this. Many legal experts, defence lawyers, and human rights organisations heavily criticise the practice of setting explicit goals to increase conviction rates for specific crimes. The primary concern is that prioritising a higher numerical success rate creates a systemic bias that erodes the presumption of innocence and directly risks miscarriages of justice. So, by prioritising certain crimes and targeting them for increasing convictions, we would appear to be creating a two-tier approach to justice in Scotland. What about all the research on this topic? Is the research used by Hollywood and the justice system balanced and unbiased? Well, I've noted before, almost every piece of research carried out to look at the rape cases is carried out by academic feminists. These feminist academics appear to have a very similar worldview and objective. So I went to my friendly AI again and asked what they thought about this. And it replied, looking at an issue from a single perspective creates a critical blind spot leading to flawed policies, confirmation bias and unintended consequences. By ignoring alternative viewpoints, decision makers risk alienating stakeholders, wasting resources on ineffective solutions and failing to address the root causes of complex real-world problems. Once again, in Scotland, we appear to have a serious problem. What about getting rid of juries and having judge-only trials in rape cases? Might this create a two-tier justice system? In case you're unaware, the government, backed by leading members of the judiciary and many academic feminists, have pushed to get rid of juries in rape cases. But is this right? Is it just? Is it what we would expect in a democracy? Many legal experts and civil liberties groups believe that getting rid of juries could, and I quote, structurally divide the justice system and undermine fundamental rights. It would, in other words, create a two-tier justice system. And why do they want to get rid of juries? A key reason, helped by feminist academics again, is the argument is that we need to get rid of juries because they believe in rape myths. Jurors, that is, believe in rape myths, apparently. And if you're not aware, rape myths are meant to be the prejudices that ordinary people have about rape and about women. It's a longhand way of saying you, the public, are bigots and can't be trusted to adjudicate in rape cases. Ignore the fact that many researchers have questioned the unscientific nature of the research into rape myths. Just ask yourself, is it legitimate for the authorities to treat the public in this way? Can we be said to be living in a genuine democracy if our betters decide that we are too stupid and prejudiced to be part of a jury? Are judges all-knowing? Are they the only enlightened and reasonable people in Scotland? Can nobody else be trusted to make a decision about a rape case? This feels to me like the very definition of elitism. It feels to me like the very definition of a two-tier justice system. What about the media? Surely they're not part of the blob. Surely they will speak out if they see the corruption of the justice system in Scotland. Surely they will hold the elites and the powerful's feet to the fire and expose what is going on. I jest, of course, in fact, of all the people who are guilty of bias, prejudice, and a behaviour you would expect to find in the gutter. It is the many journalists who have more often than not covered this issue with any degree of seriousness or respect that it deserves. You imagine if the Scottish courts were found to not be having fair trials for other groups in society, there would be uproar, shame, cold rage, but not when it comes to miscarriages of justice for men imprisoned for rape, even when they have not had a fair trial. There is much talk about two-tier justice system at the moment. Some people believe that as soon as the police hear the word racism, for example, discrimination begins. In the Scottish justice system, indeed in Holyrood itself, we appear to have another one of these words. The word is misogyny. Like a Harry Potter spell, you simply have to keep repeating this word and doors magically open for you. People in authority take the knee, money becomes available, journalists pull out their pens, and all hell is let loose on anyone who dares to question this idea that we all hate women. It's a vile word, misogyny, and people who are misogynistic, who do hate women, are vile. But is this the world we live in? One filled with people who hate women? Or is this once again a bias? Is this a prejudice? Their prejudice? Does it really reflect, in reality, a deep-seated hatred amongst many of the professional class towards ordinary people? Ironically, of course, many of those who use the term misogyny don't even know what a woman is. Or, like the floundering Nicola Sturgeon, think it is fine to allow male rapists into women's prisons. But I digress. Discrimination is a terrible thing. Once you see a certain group of people as less than you, once you think they are backward, that they are deplorable, that they cannot be trusted, you start to treat them in a terrible way. Discrimination leads to terrible outcomes, and that is what we face, and arguably still face, in Scotland. The system that discriminates, that destroys the possibility of fair trials, that results in hundreds, possibly over 1,000 men rotting in prison without ever having a fair trial. It would appear from all this evidence that we do indeed have a two-tier justice system in Scotland. We have seen the biggest legal scandal, I would argue, in Scottish history. But we also have a Supreme Court ruling that tells Holyrood that our courts are not fit for purpose. Our politicians appear to be dragging their feet, and shame on them. So it is up to you, up to all of us, to make sure that everyone knows what is happening. Then, and only then, will we have justice for everyone in Scotland and an end to discrimination. Thank you and good luck.